So this is a little video I made on how I fillet my trout. I know everybody has their own way of doing it, but I've had several friends ask me how I do it. I've been doing it for a long time, and so I thought I would go ahead and make this video to share with you guys. Originally it was part of another video where I went trout fishing at a place called Douthit State Park, but I just wasn't happy with that footage, so I deleted it. But I kept this, and I thought I would go ahead and make this video for you guys. Not saying this is the only way to do it, but it works for me. And I hope you learned something. I hope you enjoy it. And so here it is. Okay, this portion of the video is for my friend Mitch, who asked me how I clean my trout. And so I promised him I'd make him a video for that. And so I thought I'd stick this in here today since I've got plenty of trout to clean. So the important thing, the first thing with trout is you want to have kind of a flimsy fillet knife that'll go flex a lot. Okay, this is nothing expensive. This is just a Rapala that I got at Gander, I think. They sell them at Walmart. But you got to make sure that it's really sharp first. It makes a huge difference. It needs to be flexible and sharp. So always have a sharpener, and usually with the smaller trout, I'll sharpen it after about every other trout. With the really big ones, probably about every fish. But just to sharpen it's pretty simple. Just run it through there several times, and you can tell when it's sharp. Here's a better look at my knife. I didn't really show it too good. Nothing fancy. It's like a $15 knife. So I'm going to start this one with one of the normal size trout, because they're a little bit different than the really big ones. And I know there's probably a lot of different ways to clean trout. Everybody does it differently. This is the way I've always done it. So the first thing I do is I'll hold the fish upside down, and I'll cut out this front fin right here very carefully. And then I'll stick my thumb down in that hole. And I'll hold it like this while I cut the anal fin out. Same kind of way. Hold the fish tight so you don't slip and cut yourself. Okay. Then I'll take him and put his head in the clamp. You don't have to have one of these, but it makes it a little bit easier. I'll take the knife, hold this fin up, and I'll kind of get right up behind the gills and I'll angle my knife this way a little bit and cut down until I hit the backbone, but don't go through it. You can tell. Okay, and I'm there, and then I'm gonna turn my knife this way and ride that backbone all the way back. And you'll be able to hear the knife going along the backbone. And that's what'll dull the knife. That's why you have to sharpen it every couple of fish. But you gotta be real careful not to go through the backbone, because that'll be hard to recover from. And just take your time. Go all the way down. You cut through the ribs and everything. Go all the way down to about right there. Then I'll flip it over, and then this is where you need a flexible knife. I'm going to cut the fillet off the skin. I'm just going to kind of do the same thing, cut it and then turn while I hold the skin and pull like that. So little cut, turn, and I'm pushing down on the knife while it's at a flat angle there. And if your knife is sharp, it'll slide right through there. Okay, so we're left with this. We got the rib bones in there. Then we're just going to go and cut them out. And sometimes you'll miss one. There's not a whole lot you can do about that. The bigger trout have these like Y bones down through here, and this one's got some I can feel. A lot of times on the normal size trout, those will kind of cook out. You don't really get them, but on the big ones, not a whole lot I found you can do about it. They're just going to be there. They have more bones. But so this is what you're left with. Fillet, it's all bloody. And sometimes I'll go back afterwards, and I'll cut out, like this is a little section of fat right there. I'll trim it up a little bit, get that kind of stuff off. And I'll rinse it real good, and sometimes I'll soak them in water overnight, sometimes salt water. It kind of pulls some of the blood out of it. and then I freeze them. So I'm going to put that in water right now, just let it sit, and I'll rinse them all in a minute. But so for the rest of the fish, we're going to turn it over and do the same thing again. Okay, now this time I'll get a whole lot more of the ribs on this fillet, just the way it goes, because half the fish is gone, the angles are all different. But same thing, I'm going to cut right here. Ride that backbone down. Okay. Then I'm going to cut the skin off of the fillet off of the skin. There we go, got all the skin. And see what I mean? We got more of the ribs this time, no problem. And I take my time on this because I don't like to lose any of the meat if I can help it. And I got them all. There's one right there. All right, there we go. That's a pretty good fillet. Now, no fillet job is perfect. I'm sure I left a little bit of meat on this fish. Looks like maybe up here at the top I did. I didn't want to go through the backbone, but overall pretty good. I don't gut them first. I don't do any of that stuff. I just do this, and it's all one piece, and I'll just throw this in the trash. And after a fish that size, I'll probably go ahead and sharpen the knife again before I do another one. All right, here's another kind of normal size stalker trout. All right, I'm going to show you how to do it on these bigger, well, I'm going to show you how to do it this way on the bigger ones. Usually if I go to like a trophy trout stream, I'll just use my electric fillet knife on these big ones. I don't feel like getting that all out for one fish, but I caught this one really big for me brown trout today. It was, I'll put it on my scales, it was 2 pounds, 5 ounces. Felt like it was a lot bigger than that, but he's the only really big one I've got, so I'm going to go ahead and get him out of the way. The bigger ones, some people may disagree with this. I think the bigger ones are harder to clean. I don't know, we'll see. But I'll show you how to do it on these. And I'm going to go ahead and cut these fins out. Sometimes on the really big ones, I'll just leave these fins because it's hard to hold them. They're so big and slimy. I'm going to sharpen it again after that. This fish is tough. He might be too big to put his head up in here. I can get a little bit of grip on him there. Now these big ones, you can see, he's as long as my fillet board here. I think he measured, let's see, what is it? Let's measure him here. This fish is 20 inches long. So he's as long as my fillet board here, so I'm not going to be able to cut down and flap it over or go all over the thing. So I'm going to cut all the way through on this one, and I'll show you what I do to get the skin off on the bigger ones. I'm going to go all the way through. All right, and this is what dulls your knife right here. These ribs on these big ones are so thick. I swear, it does a number on your knife. Let's flip him over, see if we can clamp him from this side. Okay, so this is one of the big ones. Some people leave the skin on. I don't like the skin. I don't know. I've never tried it. I just feel like I probably wouldn't like it, so I always cut it off. But since I couldn't just flip this over and run my knife under it like I do on the smaller ones, I'll cut all the way through the tail, through at the end of the tail like I did. Then I'll put this on the board and I'll clamp it. This is where the boards really come in handy. Clamp it there, and then I'll go up all the way to the top and do my cut to get the skin off. I'm just going to work it back and forth as I hold the skin tight with my left hand. And I may leave a little bit on there, we'll see. Nope, it all came off. Okay. And I got some ribs on this side. Ooh, that was close. Just kind of shaving them ribs out of there. And that's what we're left with. It's not pretty because it's all dirty, but we got a lot of that fillet. Not many bones left except for this Y bone line that I was telling you about. Which one? This one's not too bad, but that's a good fillet. That's bigger than most of the other fish I caught. Got all the skin on that one.